late game. Nope. Instead, going to keep it with the Naga Siren. It's TI time, which means Naga is always the go-to. It's actually going to be Qualifier playing on that. And it's going to be Black playing on the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I think this is a nice pickup here. The Naga Siren, generally speaking, we're seeing the meta go into a lot of mid-game team fight. The natural response to that is going to be a lot of split pushing. So everybody's theorized, all the pro players have theorized that Naga Siren is going to be quite popular in the coming days for TI because it is that counter to the very team fight oriented lineup. Plus, you have Radiance buff that came into play that makes Naga Siren much stronger. You have the Octarine core, which is a great replacement to the Heart, which used to be the common pickup for Naga Siren. It's not. It doesn't make you that tanky anymore as the Heart did, but it's still the Octarine core coming into play is being able to allow you to spam out Riptides, Illusions, and even your ultimate even further makes for a quite powerful hero. Plus, it's kind of a Black special. It's a farming hero through and through. Actually, is Black going to be playing the Queen of Pain? Qualifier is going to be playing the Naga Siren. This is the second time that they've done this, that a Black hero, a Black farming hero, such as the Animage that they ran earlier, is actually going to be played by Qualifier instead.
Not gonna lie, I just had a little bit of a panic. I knew we had a dedicated observer in here, and then all of a sudden it comes on, and I'm controlling my own camera. It's like, oh, good. 4.5 months away from Dota. Now I get the obs for TI qualies with no warm up.
I'll be honest. I hoped you were the dedicated observer because I'm exhausted. But now I was like, I don't have to worry. I'm observing. This is gonna be fine. All right. So
I thought we had an obs in here, like a dedicated obs. Could have swore we were supposed to.
No, it's just for the same stream.
Cool.
Okay,
anyway,
so
I'm going to be watching your screen because, I know you're tired, but I've been away for a long time. So anyway, the horn does sound. Enough about camera issues. How about we talk about these two teams, Unknown and MOUZ? We're going to see our Lena grab out the very first bounty rune, and Black on that Quap moving his way on towards mid. So talking about the way these lanes are going to shape up, I really want to see, okay, they are going to be running Greedy. Now, Greedy's the guy I was talking about earlier. And, you know, not to rag on a guy, but he really was the weak link from what I saw in most of Unknown's play. He's going to be in a position here going up against Pylai Dai on the Skywrath Mage and Qualifier on the Naga Siren. I really wonder how much he's going to be able to get accomplished here. In fact, bo2 is rotating his way up the river right now and is going to be able to zone him off of XP and gold almost completely.
Yeah, Pylai Dai, the Skywrath Mage is probably the best zoning support out there, but Beastmaster is actually quite potent versus the Skywrath Mage because he just spams out double boars and throws them at the Skywrath Mage, and it's hard for him to be able to deal with that. Black is probably going to be feeling a lot of pressure. They already rotated the Disruptor just to do a little bit of early harassment with Thunderstrike, but he, again, I already talked about the Earthshaker potential, roaming into the middle lane, setting up the Light Strike array, so this could be a very hard lane for Black, but it seems like both the supports are really centering up in this bottom lane. Bulba, with the cog blocking, has actually got the creep wave right in front of his tower, which is exactly where he wants it. So
he's level 2.5 already, man. That's way too much to be given him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the supports here at this bottom lane, because they want to try and get a kill on the Clockwork, or if they really feel like they have to zone him out. And of course, the big thing about a Clockwork is you don't want to allow him to get his level 6 too early, because then he just snowballs off of it. But I don't think they really should leave Black 1 versus 1 alone against the Lina. Like, Lina can win this matchup. I'm just expecting the skill of Black to triumph in this 1v1. So I kind of prefer to see the heavy ganking and pressure be put onto Black as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they're not trying to pressure this Lina a little bit more. The O-Try is not working. We can see Bulba does have it sucked under their own tower, so at this point they're only leeching XP off of each other. And perhaps moving, trying to move and pressure Black, but more than anything, you know, this top lane is going so well. If they just decide to rotate away from Qualifier and try to get a kill on this lane, I think that's going to be hugely beneficial. As you said, I mean, it's Black. His mechanical skill can't be questioned. He can play a little risky at times, and I just think it would suit what they really want to get done here in the early game.
So the bottle already being picked up by Black and is on its way, and he has a whole entire creep wave that he still has to farm. Goes to show that Black is definitely winning this 1 versus 1 just purely through CSing. At the very least, this Lina is going to be about 45 seconds behind the bottle pickup of Queen of Pain, and that is quite significant. If Black really wanted to, he could abuse that just by actually bottle ferrying real quickly and really trying to push that advantage. But he doesn't for now, maybe expecting to be able to get the 4-minute rune. His supports could probably rotate up to the top rune to ensure that Black does get that one. And other than that, things have been kind of calm. Greedy picked up a double damage rune and pushed back against Pylite Die, but he's still being zoned out quite heavily here. They're going to go for it. Oh, wow.
He's tanky, but he's not that tanky. There's going to be the ensnare to follow. And Greedy, once again, ends up being first blood. And unfortunately, this has really been the tale of the tape for the last few games for him, giving up a lot of unnecessary and unneeded kills out in that offlane. And granted, I understand if you're level 1.5 coming up at 3.5 minutes in, you've got to start to take a risk, I guess. But this is just such a deadly tri-lane, and with that, bo2, level 2.5 now. At level 3, he'll, of course, be able to dip into the jungle and just very quickly farm. A Blink Dagger did get kind of... He's got the golems up here, and of course, after the changes, not as big of a deal. But they're already beginning to stack there. Now we're going to have an engagement on the Lena. Black run off. There's a beautiful Fissure that caught him up on the high ground. bo2 there, guarding the Invis rune. Black making a run for it. And there's going to be a burrow strike on the Z-Talk. He may have hung around way too long. Damage is there. Can they get the right click? There's going to be that dagger thrown uphill. Going to try to deny himself on the Ancients, and got it. So, a little bit of a misplay put him in a bad position, and he ends up giving up a death, but did not end up giving up a kill.
Yeah, he got really greedy there, wanting to be able to snag the invisibility rune. Probably didn't expect the Skywrath Mage to be down there in that bottom, or in that top rune area as well. But as I was talking about earlier, Mousesports, again, probably thinking about they got to establish some rune dominance there for the Queen of Pain, so rotating both supports to make sure she gets the rune is pretty key. So definitely a decent win for MOUZ nonetheless, as the Queen of Pain was able to get back into the lane without losing much and now has full HP, full mana, that full bottle as well. Still an advantage over the Lena for sure.
This is going to be an ultra greedy build coming out of our Slark, as he's opted to go ahead and go for a Hand of Midas. And I got mixed feelings on that. I mean, your late game is good, but you're up against a Naga Siren. And the more time you spend not fighting, more problems. You're borrowing trouble. We do see bo2 off of that last engagement and a little bit of lane XP, did find level 3. So he is beginning to clear out these camps, and he should have a Blink Dagger up at a pretty decent clip. And at that point, MOUZ is going to be able to take the fight to them. And if they can do that and just free up Quakefoot to free farm on this Naga Siren, we've yet to see what item she's going with yet, and hopefully we'll know that soon. But even if she goes Midas, I just really like the position MOUZ has played themselves into. It's just 2-1, but just overall the speed and the pace and what we're seeing itemization-wise, I like where they are.
Our Slark actually buying the Ring of Regen on the side shop just for a little bit of value, just for a few seconds, gets the Ring of Regen because he really needs his level 6 so he can start regenning up. But Bulba going with the 2 levels in Rocket is actually putting a lot of pressure on Slark, so much so that he can actually push forward aggressively if he really wants to, knowing that the Slark won't be able to combat him, not without that level 6. So Bulba, I mean, no matter what happens, he's very happy with the laning phase and the way it's gone. He still has regen left, man. I don't know. Clockwork is...
Dude, he's number 5 in overall CS. Like, to be an offlane Clockwork against a tri-lane and get that, he's in great shape.
Yeah, in fact, he even gets himself an early bottle now, so like just kind of ensuring that with his early level 6, he starts roaming around the map. He figures they're going to have enough dominance that he will get a lot of value out of this bottle, being able to secure runes left and right, and just means that he'll be spending less time going back to base. Most of the time when a Clockwork goes for an early gank, he hook shots in, cogs, battery assault, boom, there goes your whole entire mana pool. So at that point, even if it is a very successful gank, he's still got to back himself up all the way to the fountain before he TP's out for another gank. So the bottle just kind of ensures you can just keep on going even if your hook shot isn't off cooldown yet.
Well, as for now, other than the little bit of action we saw on the river and a kill on Greedy, still not a whole lot to talk about. Bulba, now level 6, should be looking to make something happen on the map now.
Yeah, he's going to be looking towards that middle lane. The obvious gank onto the Lena is pretty expected. In a Lena versus Queen of Pain matchup, if the Lena is able to secure Eul's Scepter, it just becomes an auto kill on Queen of Pain every single time. So you want to make sure you stall that up as much as possible, at least hoping to get the Queen of Pain her Aghanim Scepter before the Eul's Scepter of the Lena. That way she's at least a little bit tankier. But yeah, very much so.
And, you know, again, this just seems to be what happens to him. It's the third game I've watched him, and he just dies over and over. He's level 3.5 right now, and that puts him at the bottom of the chart. The only one as low as he is his own Earthshaker. So the support play for right now.
Oh, Black is actually going to go for the kill here on middle. Lina drops low. The Sonic Wave goes out, and Black easily able to clean up that kill.
And that is actually a very big kill, as you were talking about. I mean, Black in general should have been, you know, troubled by that matchup a little bit. But, yeah, interesting stat there. Slightly above average. But Black, I mean, seeing Black on the Quap, I mean, it's not something unheard of by any stretch of the imagination. But, you know, it's, you know, whenever you think of Black, you usually think hard farming right clickers. But if he's able to continue to make plays like this, especially as we get to the tail end of the laning phase, I already said I like where MOUZ is positioned. There's the Blink Dagger now up on their Sand King, so bo2 going to be in a great position to start moving around the map. They just have so many ways they can catch you out and blow you up that Unknown, with this greedy build on the Slark, excuse me, with the Hand of Midas, they may end up regretting this quite a bit.
Yeah, they are trying to give some room. Oh, nice deny there from Black on that ward, but they are trying to give some space to the Earthshaker to be able to get some solo experience while Lina farms up the jungle. Small things that you can do as a support with most of the mids that are being run now, SF, Lina. Most of them do have some kind of jungling farming mechanisms to them, so Lina is definitely no exception. They give a little bit of solo experience to Earthshaker. Actually, Light Strike Array misses there. That's going to require some bit better teamwork if they hope to be able to pick off Black. The hardest part now is that Black, he's sitting at full HP thanks to his constant bottling, and he just always has to make sure that he's on Strength Treads, and I think he survives through the Fissure, Light Strike Array, Dragon Slave, and Laguna Blade. I think it's only just barely, but it's hard to tell, but Black, he's a good enough player that I think he feels confident.
Got it this time?
Oh, it's just barely enough.
Barely enough. That was a good call by you, man. It was absolutely super close.
Yeah, if he had actually gotten off like his magic wand charges, then I think he lives through that last hit and has time to be able to blink away. But unfortunately, just underestimating that damage just a little bit much.
A little payback for MOUZ. Something I'm not seeing as much of as I would like out of
Epicenter in the top lane. bo2, they ensure the kill on the Beastmaster. It's just a tough lane for a Beastmaster.
What's he going to do?
Yeah, it's the one thing that they probably should be thinking about is stacking up the Ancients with the Boar. But even then, Beastmaster would still be in the same scenario. Like, at least he would have some sort of reserve to farm back later on, but he would still be in the scenario that he is level 5.
Smoke at bottom, and they're going to bypass the Disruptor. They really want to find Slark. Oh, he's so low. If they get eyes on him at all, he's got to run. He is regenerating very quickly thanks to his ulti, though. And that's such a missed opportunity. I don't think they know he's there, or that they're there. Bulba may take a shot anyway. He's still so low. He has his ulti. If he wants it, Pylai Die will show himself. There's the hook. They got it. A beautiful Mystic Flare to follow, and the Static Storm just too slow from the Disruptor. So that's a big kill, and that's the risk you take whenever you're going these greedy builds against inherently greedy heroes like the Naga Siren on the other side. You had better hope you're left alone, because any step backwards is such a gigantic leap forwards for MOUZ.
Yeah, this is why MOUZ really they really enjoy running Skyreth Mage as well as Vengeful Spirit, and part of the reason is nice blink away. Part of the reason is that they run Clockwork so much that Skyreth Mage has so much value with a Clockwork, because it's a very simple, like, you hookshot in, you put down cogs, and you look at the cogs, the box of cogs, it's like directly, it's the exact same AoE of the Skyreth Mage ultimate, right? It's like they were made for each other. So it's very easy, simple ganking mechanism that ensures pretty much anybody dies in a 2 versus 1 scenario. So, and as you can see, it's such a simple, like, you throw down the hook shot and cogs, and you just throw Mystic Flare down, and you try and get any other disables through after that point, it doesn't matter. The Mystic Flare damage is already going to do its work, and it will get that kill. So even though, like, Ace tried to throw out that Static Storm in order to stop that, it's once the Mystic Flare was down, it was all over. They're going to get another pick off, though. Z-Talk is dead.
No man's land. And he'll get a fissure off. Is he actually going to get away? No way. If they get Pylai down to this, that's a big deal. Sonic Wave scares him away, but the ulti able to keep him under cover and keep him alive and breathing. So a little bit of a risk there. Ends up not paying off for Unknown as they do lose the Earthshaker, but scared the hell out of them if nothing else. The core items are beginning to come out on a variety of heroes. We do see the Yules is just now complete on our Lena, and the Skywrath Mage finishes up his Arc Boots as Pili Dai limps his way on back to base. But 7-2, MOUZ in the driver's seat, no doubt about it. And with the Radiance coming very soon for Qualifier, I'm really worried for him.
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to say, and their Mousesports are winning this game 4 versus 5, and then I was rethought about it, and I was like, no, really, they're winning this game 4 versus 4, right? Yep. Because you've got a free farming Naga Siren who's a non-factor in fights at all, but so is the offlane Beastmaster. He hasn't done anything for them yet. He is level 7, so he can make that first rotation around and use the ultimate. I mean, the ideal pickoff would be the Queen of Pain at this point, unless you're going to rotate mass heroes up to that top lane in order to get the Naga Siren. Obviously, that would be a bit better, but even if they did do that, it's too late. The Radiance is already complete. You're not going to take away any of the unreliable gold that Naga Siren was holding on to. With the Radiance farmed up, Koifa never has to go over the river. In fact, he barely even has to go to lane. He can just spam
It'll be a big pick here, and they will get the Lena. Black was there to get in range of XP and gold, but that was actually a really effective smoke. They smoked across middle, anticipated the run for the rune in 14 minutes. Now down at bottom, there's going to be a hook. Can they kill Kotaru again? If they can, it's a huge deal. Static Storm allows them to get away, and they even get a kill on their own. Now there's going to be a roar on the way to, and just like that, the gap has narrowed as Unknown with an exclamation point thanks to the Earthshaker Echo Slam. Says, nah, this game ain't over yet. They do just manage to kill off Boba, and they did get way to, but still showing signs of life. The problem is this top lane has looked the same for a while. A Naga Siren with a lot of gold and a whole lot of creep kills.
Yeah, decent read there from the Disruptor, not losing sight of what could happen in a team fight. There was way too actually channeling up the Epicenter in order to try and help out Bulba. Now, the Yield Scepter is going to come into play in this middle lane, but the silence from Pili Dai ensures there's no chain out from the Lina.
Tell you what's scary is if you want to, you can just take the Clockwork, the Sand King, the Clockwork, the Quap, and say the Skywrath Mage. And if those 3 heroes get the jump on any other 3 heroes on the enemy team, it's going to be a 2-0 every single time. Like, the amount of damage output they have is truly just absurd. And it's a big part of their kill lead so far. We do see that Greedy has managed to make up a little bit of ground. And it looks like he's going look, actually. Here in mid, we're going to have an engagement. And that's going to be the cogs down. Laguna Blade does go up. Black should be able to make it away, and way too there to follow. So a little bit overzealous on the part of Arlena. And she ends up adding to MOUZ's kill total, 9-4 now.
Yeah, I think that was fairly obvious what was going to happen there. The Lina just tried to do that to the Queen of Pain and was stopped by the Skywrath Mage. It's very obvious that Mousesports know that especially since you already revealed the Yule Scepter, Mousesports know you're looking for a kill on the Queen of Pain, and they're going to make sure they always have some sort of saving mechanism there. And obviously, probably didn't expect so many heroes, but Mousesports actually bring 3 additional heroes to that middle lane just to make sure that they don't have the opportunity for free pickoffs on Black. They don't really need to worry about anybody else, right? Koifa is in his own jungle spamming out illusions constantly and farming up massively. The bottom lane is the Clockwork, who is completely moved out of lane and doesn't really need any extra farm. Like, sure, Blade Mail is nice early on, but it's not a necessity. They can just focus their offlaner and their 2 supports on completely getting kills and protecting the Queen of Pain and Naga Siren and not even worry about that bottom lane. So Unknown kind of have to expect MOUZ to be grouped up constantly.
Koifa with bots done that go with his Radiance at sub 17 minutes. And we do see that Kotaru is beginning to get a little bit more active. We saw him just now use the Shadow Blade, head into the jungle, clear it out, try to look for someone to pick off. But now with the bots up, map control is going to be completely and utterly in favor of Mousesports unless Unknown just really throttles it. I mean, they can't back off. If they give any room to operate at all to MOUZ, just by virtue of nothing but Radiance illusions and split push with bots, they're not going to be able to cross the river. And now, a little bit of that coming out on their side, it will be that Necro Book build on Greedy. That said, I'm not sure that I understand it. I feel like a Blink Dagger would have been immensely more important here, at least as a first item.
Yeah, you know, I used to actually always call for the Blink Dagger on Beastmaster. I felt that it was just too potent. of a pick-off. It basically allows you to always pick off those squishier intelligent cores like Queen of Pain. But the Necrobook has been in just such fashion lately, and particularly with the Necrobook being buffed a bit, with the level 1 and level 2 being more powerful, it's going to remain that way, I think, for a while. Unknown do need to have some sort of uphill pushing mechanisms, and if possible, be able to limit the vision of MOUZ. The problem is, the vision isn't going to be so limited. Even if they kill wards, you still have the Naga Siren illusion spam that's going to come out, keeping all the lanes pushed forward. You're unlikely to be able to really enclose Mousesports, you know, underneath. Ideally, you would keep them behind their tier 2 tower area at all times, but that's just not possible. With the way they lost the laning phase, there's no way they're going to be able to get that kind of lead.
We just missed a very important kill as Slark died near the Roche pit.
That's super unfortunate.
Yeah, super unfortunate, super important. And Unknown immediately want to get payback. There's going to be a Yule that's going to catch Block. Black in trouble. There's the Roar and the Laguna Blade. Finish it off, but bo2 comes in with a big 2-man epi. Manages to bring down one. Greedy has to make a run for it. And he will be able to make it away. And I just heard a glimpse. Where'd they send him back to? Is it down at bottom?
They sent the Naga Siren back to base, actually, which leaves Pylai Die alone. They could get a pick off.
It's going to be caught in the kinetic field. There's bo2 once again on point, and as a dying parting gift, throws out the Mystic Flare, makes it a 1-for-1. And MOUZ, even though they lose the Quap there, I feel like they actually come out ahead. Just because of how the longer this game goes, the more momentum they're going to continue to build. Bulba now with a Blade Mail especially.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it two different ways, right? Which is, okay, Unknown made an even trade, 2 for 2, basically same position, a 4 position for a 4 position, and a mid for a mid.
Right.
Mousesports are ahead, so in that kind of point, Unknown are good with that kind of trade-off, because when you're behind like that, even trade-offs are favorable to you. But you're absolutely right. In the end, big picture-wise, it definitely favors Mousesports, because all they have to do is just make this game go late, and the Naga Siren easily takes over. It doesn't even have to be that late, right? No. With the way the Koifa's farmed up so incredibly well, he's going to be sitting at a 5-slotted Naga Siren by 30-35 minutes.
And they still have all of their towers. They've yet to give up a single tower.
Yeah.
So whenever you're talking about the ability to push that reliably, to smoke from that far forward a position, and so on, their ability to control the map with Naga illusions and everything else is going to be tremendous. And we're actually going to see Kotaru walk right by Koifa, who's farming very aggressively. He's going to be found out, but what's he going to do?
Yeah, I mean, really, how do you kill him? It's just simply not possible. Slark even knew it wasn't possible, and now they're going to be able to catch him.
Yep, we're going to have the silence from Pylai Die to lead things off. Cogs, and that'll be all she wrote. Bulba eating a little bit of damage with using the Blade Mail. The ulti's there, but bo2 finds him. 13-6, that's going to be the second death on the Slark in about the last couple of minutes. There's going to be a big Echo Slam as they pick off Black. So even though they give up their Slark, they did manage to land a good fissure and chain it together in that mid lane. Still, though, I mean, they may get a tower out of it. Nope, Glyph's going to be there.
Yeah, Glyph in the rotation behind from Bulba as well. He makes the jump.
That's going to be on top of Arlena. She's down without a fight. Z-Talk maybe waiting to fissure. Don't think it's going to matter. bo2 engages. That's going to catch Greedy as well. Bulba right behind him. There's a fissure. Very well shot from Z-Talk. That definitely saved the Beastmaster. And bo2, has Blink and Force Staff, so max mobility, but still unable to catch up with him on the high ground. And Bulba will go ahead and limp away. So it ends up being a 2-for-1, all told, over the last couple of minutes. As the Quap did drop, but they got Slark. And Lena, we keep forgetting, we're treating her kind of like she's just there, and she's got a core position. They need more out of her. As of right now, a Yule's and working on what seems to be a Scepter. That's not enough at 22 minutes.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he's doing an okay job farming up. The problem is that Mousesports just countered out all of his ganking attempts, right? Yep. Every single time he went on the Queen of Pain, Mousesports was there to say something about it, or they were making a superior trade-off, like a kill on the Slark in the bottom lane. I think is definitely worth the loss of the Queen of Pain. So it's just very hard for Lena to be able to get that snowball rolling in this game one. So you could definitely see the power of the newer Necrobook, though. That level 2 Necrobook definitely did a lot of damage to the Mousesports here. The problem is it's still not enough, right? You can't just hope to get even trade-offs at this point.
Kotaru again in trouble. There's the hook from Bulba. That's the third time he's died right here. Like, I'm not sure what he's doing. Is he assuming it's not warded?
Yeah, I think he keeps on going for the runes and actually getting picked off in the process of going for it. I think he keeps going to the Roshan pit simply because it's a very natural place for a Slark to go because it's guaranteed that they don't have vision inside, right? So you get a little bit of time to heal up inside the Roshan pit before they get inside the Roshan pit. A little bit of extra movement speed, plus you actually have plenty of pounce opportunities. You can go up, right, or down with the pounce, and those are all potential juking mechs.
He's sitting at 0-4 now. He went the Shadow Blade right after the Midas, but he has had zero impact on this game. I mean, he's 0-4-1. He happened to be standing around for a kill. That's it. And this is, again, to beat a dead horse, which if not already completely dead, is in real mortal danger of expiring. You go a Midas against the Naga, you better farm and you better not lose. You better not lose the early game. You better pressure her. And we've seen none of that. Yeah. And coming back to what you said about the Beastmaster, you're right. In retrospect, to tell you the truth, they picked Black off 3 times now and they haven't needed the Blink Dagger, so to hell with it.
Yeah, the Beastmaster, unfortunately, just, it's helped getting the pickoffs on Black, but I just don't see a winning condition with the Beastmaster anytime in the near future. I think they just... they needed something that was maybe a little bit more capable of moving around, or perhaps even something that could have actually jungled up. Because, and the one thing that you do got to give really good credit to Mousesports, they definitely did a really good job shutting down that Beastmaster.
Oh yeah.
Even including Qualifi's value level in the ensnare early on for that 2-second disable. Like being able to lead with that potentially, concussive shot goes off, you follow up with the ensnare, which then allows the Sand King to be able to get in range finally with his Burrow Strike, which is notoriously hard to be able to get in range with in those first couple of levels. So they put a lot of effort into shutting him down, and it's paying off beautifully because the Beastmaster, he's becoming a factor now, but it's just comparing him and the Clockwork, it's almost night and day, right? Bulba has actually gotten them 9 different kills, while the Beastmaster has contributed with 5, and that's nice, and he's got a Necronomicon, but you're still being pushed up against, you still aren't able to utilize that Necronomicon for pushing down towers at all, simply because the Naga Siren, she's just too far ahead. She's sitting at almost double the net worth of most of the heroes, if not triple or quadruple the net worth of many of the heroes on everybody. So
if you want to talk about supports getting work done, man, I mean, MOUZ from the 3, 4, and 5 positions, 3, 4, and 5 have accounted for 11 of the 15 kills. That's how well those 3 have played together. And especially Bulba, as you mentioned, 5, 1, and 4 responsible, or at least involved in 9 of 15 total. It's just nuts. And wow, apparently there's a major record that's been broken here. 355 last hits. Qualifier has shattered the record for last hits on Naga Siren at 25 minutes and 6.84.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to be... Oh, Kataru. I'm not sure if Black's really the guy he wants to go on.
Oh, bad call. He's got Beastmaster behind him. He's lucky Way2 didn't engage.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Earthshaker managed to get the Skywrath Mage. I'm presuming that's the Blink Dagger revealed. Yeah, the Blink Dagger being used to get the jump with the Echo Slam. Solo kill on the Skywrath Mage. The problem is you now have Echo Slam down for over 2 minutes, and you needed a lot more out of that Blink Dagger than just a kill on a Skywrath Mage.
Here's what they need to do. This is a big kill thing. Get a quick bump down to half health. There's a Laguna Blade to follow that was with the Scepter too. So Lena revealing the Scepter for the first time, and that, I mean, it's a little late. They needed to be tallying kills like that probably 10 minutes ago, but at least they're fighting back. They're showing some resolve, and now they've got 50 seconds to try to make something happen.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that Quaifa was willing to have his hero so far forward. Again, the advantage of the Naga Siren being you don't need to ever go over river in order to successfully farm. So that's going to stall him up slightly, but he's still sitting at 18,000 net worth. Is about to pick up his heart, so he is still going to go for the heart, not going for Octarine Core instead. He may still go an Octarine Core on top of that, but... he just goes for raw HP, as he is dealing with a lot of magical burst damage, and there's not much better ways for a Naga Siren to deal with it than just raw HP. He just hopes to be able to survive through the chain stun long enough to get off his Song of Siren if he is the first to be jumped.
Perhaps an engagement at top. They clipped his top tower, sitting at 127, and in fact, it looks to me like they're trying to bait this. They have 4 of their 5 personnel up here, and MOUZ had rotated up 3, but it looks like either through game sense or just flat-out disinterest, they decide to go ahead and back off. And Qualifier continuing to do his job. They're actually, just going to let the creeps take down this top tier 1. So a couple of towers down now for Unknown, as they are really grappling fairly well with the unbelievable start that Qualifier had. They've closed the gap at least a little bit. Still a long way to go to get themselves back to relevancy in the truest sense. But they, the Slark, he looks like he's going to go for a Scotty. He's picked up an Ultimate Orb. I mean, that makes sense. But is it going to be online soon enough? Like, I just keep looking and comparing the farms. Manta done on Qualifier. He's got 4,000 gold towards whatever the hell else he wants. He's going to have a Butterfly in like 3-4 minutes if he farms at this rate, and he continues, and that's the item he wants to go. It's just going to get so hard for them. I mean, a Diffusal Blade at this point would be absolutely crippling if he decided to go with that as well. It's so tough.
Yeah, fighting into a Naga Siren late game is really difficult, and it's not for the typical reasons, right? It's not necessarily that Naga Siren is this amazing hard carry that wins team fights. It's more the thing that going into the late game, Naga Siren has so many options. The play doesn't necessarily revolve around killing. It revolves more around positioning than anything else. So you push down those side lanes, you rat out the game as much as possible, and you slowly but surely chip down towers. These are the things that Naga Siren's actually most successful for. Plus, that really low cooldown and long duration of Song of Siren means that you can pop it more aggressively going into the later game to, get solo pickoffs or set up your allies. I mean, just as a simple thing such as Song of Siren into an epicenter with Clockwork and Queen of Pain ready to go with their ultimate can be a huge amount of initiation that crushes Unknown instantly.
When it makes it so hard if you're Unknown, very often it gets Naga Sirens that get this out of control. She did pick up a heart in the meantime, so her illusions have 19 armor and are unbelievably tanky. Like, with that and Radiance Burn, I don't know what they're going to do. But, usually where teams that find themselves in this situation is they start going high risk, high reward. Let's move out as 5. Let's be willing to sack one of our tier 2s to Naga Illusions if we have to. Let's go out. Let's try to make something happen. But when you have a Naga that hits level 16, it gets to where you almost can never reliably do that, because by the time that you've reset and you're ready to take another shot, her ult's off cooldown. That's what makes her such a late game monster as much as anything. And yeah, I mean, and especially whenever you're talking about just their composition as a whole. Slark is predominantly a single target kind of a hero, right? I mean, he's a hero that wants to tee off on one. Yes, they have some AoE here and there. They do have the Echo Slam out of the Earthshaker, which is nice. But all those things put together, if the Naga Illusions have 3,000 health and a gajillion armor, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely. The Slark is not going to be ideal with dealing with the Naga Siren spread of illusions. It's not going to be a quick way for them to be able to deal with that. They don't have any other heroes to quickly deal with it. I mean, there's a Yule Scepter on one of them, but you don't have somebody like a Lion, right? And that's really the ultimate anti-illusion hero, where you can Hex one, Mana Drain another, and, 2 of them are already out of the game. It's a very efficient way to be able to deal with those kind of pushes, but that's just not available. I think the biggest play is going to be coming for Unknown the next 5 to 10 minutes with the Scotty finished up. They got to go for some pickoffs. Unfortunately for them, they only have one smoke to be able to utilize in the next 9 minutes. So if that's a very successful smoke, they get the Naga Siren, they start pushing in, take some towers, start corralling Mousesports inside of their base as best they can. Maybe they can make the comeback, but it's going to really come down to that smoke.
I don't think I think they just used that smoke. I don't think they have that smoke anymore. Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even see.
No, I caught
they used it.
I caught them right here, right near the Ancients, as it was wearing off. Then you said one smoke. I was looking to see if they had another one. No, they do not have a smoke right now.
All right, that was a super unsuccessful smoke. I'm not even sure what the plan was when they used it, but
yep. Well, I mean, they were on their own side of the river. I'm like you. It was such an uneventful smoke, and honestly, a non-threatening smoke to the point that I didn't even flash the camera over there.
Yeah, so Skywrath Mage is, Black's Queen of Pain is now going for like a casual Scotty, I think. I think he's going to go for a right-click build now.
It's a good way to go late game.
Yeah, and it also will tank up the Queen of Pain like a huge amount.
Yep, engagement. Yep, that's going to be a dead Lena. There's going to be the roar, but it's day late and $1 short. BKB up on Black. Lena does finally die, but gets the Laguna Blade off first and foremost. That's going to force Black out. The Greedy's dead to rights. Fissure's there, catches a couple, but it doesn't matter. as MOUZ is too tanky, too threatening, and too lethal. 2 for 0. And I don't know what Unknown's going to do. Like, and this is, I mean...
They're going to lose towers. That's what they're going to do.
And it will be a butterfly build coming next out of the Naga Siren.
Yeah.
They just, even with, I mean, that actually went better for them than it really should have. Black almost died with Laguna Blade behind that. We're going to have to come back in. It's going to be Kotaru using the ulti. Koifa's there. And yeah, sucks if you're a Slark. And this is going to happen every time you try to come in and be all cute under cover of Shadow Dance. Oh, Pile Die does end up dying thanks to a good glimpse of Pounce. But they did lose their one of their last 2 outer tier towers remaining. And 17-11, MOUZ continues the build.
Yeah, that's another factor that Mousesports do have to counter the Slark is the Song of Siren, just being able to lock the Slark in place when he goes to pop that Shadow Dance, and usually he uses it to get away. If he's using it to, right-click you, it's kind of similar story. You just wait it out, and then you can set up, especially since most of the time Slark doesn't have a BKB. He usually, with this build, just goes raw stats. At that point, the moment he comes back out, you can just lay waste to him with magic damage. Your disables may not be effective because you usually get off Dark Pack, and will be able to remove any disables you throw his way after a second and a half, but you can at least just throw a lot of magic damage at him to burst him before he can pounce away or Shadow Blade out.
Well, they are playing aggressive, coming across the river. They've taken down 2 towers at this point. They're going to make something happen near the mid-tier 2. But, something we haven't talked about enough is I feel like MOUZ has actually played this really well from a tactical point of view. We have not seen them really get caught out all that often.
Sure, I think like the one play where Koifa was too far forward in the top lane with his actual hero rather than an illusion, I think is really the only tactical error I've seen from Mousesports.
Yep.
It's you're not going to call that an error in any way. Bulba accidentally hook shots a hawk. Not anything you can really know about, right? Those hawks are kind of everywhere. They're just sitting there invisible. Obviously, trying to get that pick off, but
they got a shot to catch this Lina. She does not have a TP, and Waifu's got her. This is what's known as a tactical error. There's going to be the flare, concussive shot, silence for good measure. And that's going to buy some time, but Black's there and will have no problem spending everything he's got to make sure they track her down. Even Koifa's going to get in on the action with the ensnare. She is surprisingly tanky on her way to a BKB, and she's got the Ogre Club and the Mithril Hammer done. But Kotaru, once again, 2 and 4 for him. He was trying to trail and find something on the backside of that, but MOUZ is moving well enough, and really he's moving so poorly that he's just not having many opportunities show themselves.
Yeah, Mousesports are making sure to stay grouped up constantly because it's where the Slark is usually going to be looking for just straight pickoffs, and they can stay grouped up without falling behind in farm because this is a Naga Siren we're talking about. She's like the fastest farming hero in the game when she has a Radiance, so they just spread out those illusions everywhere and can still, push out the lanes without having to split up at all. And now they may actually get the Slark.
And Kotaru. Yep, what do you even say? He just has no business being there. MOUZ was just there. They most likely warded everywhere they've gone through your own jungle. And Roche is going to drop. Naga has a fresh Aegis in the meantime. Do believe this one is about ready to be put into the books. And, all things considered, I still feel like Unknown deserves some credit. It's one thing whenever you're playing against other Tier 2 teams, it was impressive enough that they're playing against Tier 2 teams that had a former pro or 2 on them and doing as well as they have to get to this point. But you're playing against this Mousesports squad where every single person on this team has competed fairly deep into the international at some point or another. And they're going to end up losing this kind of lopsided, but all in all, they showed some resolve, and I think there's a lot of talent on that squad.
Is Black actually going for the Scotty that I was talking about? No, he's going to go Scythe of Ice. Come on, Black. I thought it was going to be so legit if you just this game is probably going to draw out for a while. Let's just go like Scotty, Daedalus.
I don't think it's going to draw out.
No, it certainly is not.
I think MOUZ can steamroll them on the back of the illusion.
Yeah, MOUZ just they managed to get a pick off on the Slark at the same time as doing Roshan, right? That goes to show what kind of dominance they had in this game. Unknown. Scythe of Ice now for Black so he can jump in, get the instant disable on the Slark. Arlena almost just died to Naga Siren illusions underneath his fountain.
Yep. They can reset, go tier 2 now if they want. They're actually just going to get a free kill on the Earthshaker, who is, for reasons beyond me, way further out than he needed to be.
He was probably trying to make this sneaky play, right? He doesn't want to just like straight up run through the lane. Naga Siren is probably the single worst hero for any blinking melee initiator to go up against. So he like tries to do the sneaky play and come in through the top area where there's unlikely to be a Naga Siren illusion, and then just gets caught in the process. So because he doesn't have an option of just going from his base to that bottom lane, right? Because there's always going to be a Naga Siren illusion pushing out and catching him with that radiance, establishing that he can't actually get away. Does Lina die here? Jesus, he almost does. Again, chased all the way back to his fountain with like 200 HP.
Like you said, man, there comes a point where, you know, if you're a blink initiator, I mean, he's got blink and force staff, which is fine, but, you know, is the blink even worth it? Like, you're going to be burned down so often just by force staff and something else to help your team.
I'll take your tribute.
Let's see, 11 to 20, 38 minutes in, just to kind of establish metric-wise how far ahead they are. Mousesports are sitting at a 20,000 gold lead, 6,000 experience.
That's actually lower than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Part of it is probably just because they've been staying grouped up so much, though the rest of their team hasn't picked up nearly as much farm.
Ooh, Hook barely misses from Bulba. I actually got a little bit of lag. Very nice Dark Pact. As no, doesn't matter, he's going to be forced to BKB. He's going to run out of items to use to save himself soon. And he's going to turn and try to fight for that BKB. Is going to run out here in just a moment. He is in trouble. And manages to pounce to the other side. Dark Pact, there's going to be a bo2, Burrow Strike, Scythe of Ice, Hex. Follow it up, and the Fissure to try to help things out. Finally, Sonic Wave finishes it off. They have...
Look what Quaifa's caught, though. He's caught all of them with the Song of Siren.
And here we go. They're going to try to reinitiate, but there's going to be a big Echo Slam. Static Storm did go down as well. Z-Talk going to TP out. There's a glimpse back that'll send Bulba back from whence he came. But the lone result is they lost 2 and gained nothing. And with the Slark down, I don't even know if he has buyback. Does he? No, he doesn't. So they can, honestly, with Naga, this is probably like Megas. It should be. I mean, he's down 50 seconds. They're going to take these towers so quickly.
Yeah. Hit on the morale as well, losing your effigies.
Yeah.
Not your precious effigies. So you got Diffuser Blade now coming out from Quaifa, more spam against like the Lina and Beastmaster, who can't do anything about these illusions, just running at them. They have one last play, and that's Z-Talk trying to make a jump, and yet his Blink Dagger is always disabled.
Yep.
And Quaifa just doesn't care, right? He's sitting at 2,600 HP after that Fissure. They throw everything they have at him, and they kill him once. I don't know how they do it twice.
I don't think they do. And Quaifa going to be put in the pin for a little while. Bad boy. But, yeah, like look at this. The illusions are chasing the entire team back to the fountain. Like, literally all of them.
Fountain Gaming. That's Unknown's way back into this game. If only they could just pick up the fountain and move it with them, maybe they'd have a chance. They still got advanced boots of travel. So this is one of the big things. Like, going later into the game, we have more opportunities for carries. Once they have an excessive amount of farm, they have other things they can build into. So the advanced boots of travel is now available for the Naga Siren, which is, you know, decently helpful in being able to get in the middle of these fights without relying on creeps. And then you also have like the Moon Shard to be picked up on the Naga Siren, and then we begin the 7th, 8th, 9th slot of the Naga Siren, which includes Necronomicon, Refresher, etc., etc., etc. So 33,000 net worth by 40 minutes though. That adds up to a GPM that's got to be around 830 gold per minute.
Yeah, that's the impressive thing, is every now and then you'll see these stomps that happen, and it's like, hey, they had like 900 GPM and the game was over in 12 minutes. That's impressive. Doing this for 41 minutes is much more impressive. Even if the number were higher, like 1,000 gold per minute average for 15 minutes is not nearly as impressive as at 850 gold per minute average over 41 minutes. So this has been a command performance from MOUZ. Kotaru going to come in and do nothing as he... I mean, what can he do? It's not his fault. He's played well from what I've seen throughout this tournament, certainly here tonight, but he's been on point with his Dark Packs as well, but somehow they got Lina. I didn't see how that happened.
I don't know what Lina was doing outside of the base while they're losing Megas, but very well, very well. I just, fine. I'll take that hit for my camera where apparently Lina decided it was a good time to go out for a stroll or something. I don't know.
He's doing the pub thing where you blink out, you don't want to get farmed.
Yeah, exactly.
Greedy.
Nice creep, very much injured by that one. He
scared the hell out of it, man. Scary. Spooky.
All right. Well, I mean, I can understand. Like, Unknown, they had a hope to be able to get into the playoffs here, but this game kind of seals
There's
it.
an echo. Pylon die. Yep, that's only wanted. One more echo. And the GG. As I want to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn here, that means MOUZ guarantees second slot?
Yeah, I mean, going into this game, looking at the rankings, going into this game, Mousesports were 1 point ahead of Unknown, and the obviously the only other factor that can happen here is a draw, which gets them both 1 point. Obviously, Mousesports stay ahead. So the only way that Unknown could have actually come out with taking the second place away from MOUZ was a clean 2-0, which is not going to be happening. More than likely, it'll go the other way, especially since Unknown.
But does it root factor into this? Like the
no, root actually are already out.
They're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just mathematically, they actually got knocked out.
Okay, so that means MOUZ with that, we tentatively say advance.